What is up, people? Welcome back to another one. And although today, like as you can see right in front of you, I got like a tap and die set over here. I don't want to mainly talk about this one. I mainly want to talk about this little thing over here. So let's get down to it. So tap and die set, everyone is familiar with this. I mean, I got this 110 piece tap and die, as it says on the box right here. Is it a premium quality? Is it like top of the line? Not really. It's kind of like a cheap. I paid like about, I don't know, like about £50 for it. Nothing like too crazy. Main reason that I have it is it's good to have a tap and die set in your toolbox. You never know when you're gonna come across some damaged threads, or maybe possibly if you accidentally damage the threads while working. It happens to all of us. So, you know, nothing like, you know, surprise, no surprise over there. But yeah, I got this tap and die set. Everyone, I believe, should have in the toolbox. I got like this 110 piece one because, you know, those smaller ones, obviously the skipping sizes and all of that. I prefer like have a bigger one, have all the sizes that I am gonna need, because you never know what you're gonna come across, and kind of like cover most of the circumstances. But anyway, moving aside from the tap and die set, the only problem that I did have, which I was like working, I think it was like a VW or something like that, is obviously this is like your, you know, tap holder for, you know, whatever you're going to be using. So let's say 8x1, you know, this is just an example. Obviously you unthread it and then like you put your tap in there, you know, and then tighten it up, you know, like this. Again, this is not like top of the line, so it kind of like works. So you got your, you know, you got your tool right there. You might put some oil and then you start like, you know, you drill the hole, tap it, and then, you know, that's the whole idea. But the only problem with this is you need to like keep spinning it, like, you know, you go like one turn or two turns and then one turn back. But it's just quite like a big of a, not big, but kind of, yeah, it is big in a way too. So if you run into like, you know, small clearance, not small clearance, tight spots, or like obviously working on cars, there's going to be like so many things around you. This one is not really the ideal tool to like, or the most efficient tool if you want to make a, you know, like create a tap, clean a thread or whatever. So I always thought like, you know, what about like, you know, don't they make like tap sockets and all of that? I did search online tap sockets. There's a lot of manufacturers that do them, but they are quite pricey. I mean, I find from like 50 to like £100 or whatever. And then that's when I came across these two adjustable tap socket set made by Sealey. Probably it's going to be the same design from other manufacturers, just with another like brand on there. Pretty similar design if you ask me. And the whole idea of this, which is kind of like a lifesaver if you ask me, is imagine this. I mean, obviously I'm going to unbox it, but yeah, imagine like this is a 3/8, it's got a 3/8 insert, and then obviously that's where you put your tap in there. The whole idea behind this is kind of like you don't need to use this long tool over here. So just gonna cut this open. Just remind me. But yeah, this is what I was kind of like looking for. I wanted to invest in tap sockets, but like I said, they were like a little bit pricey. Like I said, ranging from like 50 to like £100 or whatever. And I don't really use, you know, tap and die so much. You know, I'm not like, you know, doing anything specifically that I use them on a daily basis. That's why I, you know, bought like a cheap set to have it around just in case. But yeah, the whole purpose of this is, it's got an insert 3/8. Obviously, let me go get my 3/8 ratchet. Back with my ratchet. I mean, this is like a little like cheap ratchet that I got like in a set to have at home just in case. But yeah, not the best, you know, ratchet in my opinion. But anyway, yeah, so it's got the insert, so you pop it like in your ratchet, and then the insert over here that works like a chuck. As you can see, you just open it up and then kind of like obviously choose whatever tab you're going to be using. So let's say for instance this 8x1, it slots in there, and then you tighten the chuck, and then, you know, like, you know, give it a good snug should be more than enough. And then you can use this, you know, like for whatever, like you're gonna, you know, for whatever threads you're gonna be using. And then if you think about it, like compare this to like this, is like massive difference in terms of like size of the tool. And then, you know, especially when you're going to be working, like let's say you damage a hole, like a thread in like an engine block or something like that. Or I was working on some brakes the other day, you know, there was like a damaged threads onto the carrier. I managed to like fix that, and then it was like okay. So yeah, really impressed with this tool. Highly recommended. Like this tap adjustable socket set over here. Obviously you got this smaller one over here, and then you got the bigger one over here. Again, is the 3/8 insert, so any 3/8 ratchet would go in there. It's just this one's got like a bigger chuck for obviously the bigger taps, you know, whatever size you are going to be using. But yeah, that's the whole point and idea of this set. Obviously, just like a chuck, you can unscrew it. Here comes the tap out, and then you can use whatever size. Really impressed with these, you know, like I would say pretty much like a lifesaver, because with this one I had problems. I had to, like, you know, I was doing like quarter of a turn, and then take it out, put it again, turn it, take it out, put it. So it was like really slow process, and you know, it's like kind of like pisses you off as well. I mean, for these two I paid like I don't know, like £15. You know, it's not crazy price. Highly recommend them. You know, if you got like a tap and die set, and then you come across, you know, tight areas, you know, they're relatively small compared to like this one. Will recommend them. Are they better than you know, tap sockets, which is like specific for like taps? Not necessarily. You know, they do a really good job, I'd say, but obviously having the socket that fits perfectly onto your tap and die, you know, that's more of a, like a solid unit. This one, obviously being a chuck, it's got more moving parts, so it might have like it's got more potential of failure rather than the socket, which is like a plain socket and it fits in there. So, you know, unless you're doing it for like, unless you're using tap and dies on a daily basis, you know, it's your work, it's your job, and that's what you do, you know, I'd probably prefer like the tap sockets. If not, and then, you know, have this laying around just in case, because when the time comes, you are going to make a big difference. Highly recommend them. So pretty much that was the video, guys. I just want to recommend this tool because, you know, I've been in position of researching, kind of like make life easier for me when I was using tap and dies. That was the video, guys. Hope you liked the video. If you want to give it a thumbs up, by all means give it a thumbs up, and I'll see ya in the next video.